So here's an Am I the A-hole post from a woman. And you all know what I say about Am I the A-hole post from women. They are simply looking for validation for feeling normal human emotions. She says, Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay for my niece's college after she publicly humiliated me? And to that, I say no, because if you publicly humiliate someone with the money, then no, you don't have to spend it. But anyways, let's check out the post that she made. She says, I, 45-year-old woman, am child-free by choice, but have always been close to my brother, who's 47, and his daughter, Emily, who's 18. Over the years, I've saved up a decent amount of money, and I offered to help pay for Emily's college when the time came. She's a smart kid, and I wanted to give her opportunities I never had growing up. Everything was fine until last month. I was invited to Emily's high school graduation party, which was a big deal in our family. During the party, Emily gave a speech thanking everyone for their support. She thanked her parents, her grandparents, even her friends. Then she paused, looked at me, and said, and a big thanks to Aunt, me, for not having kids so she could spoil me like I'm hers. Must be nice having all that extra money and no responsibilities. The entire room laughed and I froze. I could feel everyone looking at me, and all I could do was smile awkwardly. I've heard jokes about being child free before, but this felt cruel and unnecessary, especially since I've sacrificed a lot to save for her future. My brother and sister in law laughed too, which hurt even more. After the party, I confronted Emily privately. She rolled her eyes and said it was just a joke, and I needed to lighten up. My brother brushed it off, saying, Teenagers can be dumb, don't take it personally. I've spent weeks thinking about this, and I've decided to withdraw my offer to pay for college. I feel like she doesn't respect me or the effort I've made to support her. When I told my brother, he blew up at me, calling me selfish and accusing me of punishing Emily for one harmless joke. Emily hasn't apologized, and now I'm questioning if I'm being too harsh. Am I the a-hole? This right here, where she says, must be nice having all that extra money and no responsibilities, she got that from her dad and her mother. She didn't just come up with that by herself because she doesn't know anything about adult responsibilities and what her extra money is going towards. She heard that from her dad and her mother. And that's the reason why her dad and her mother laughed so heartily at this. And this is another reason why she felt emboldened to say this harmless joke during this speech, because her parents, they've been laughing about this aunt behind their back. And this aunt is on point to pull this money if they're not going to respect her. She's been doing all this sacrificing, and all they can think of is must be nice to have all that extra money. So to the aunt, I absolutely do not believe that you're the a-hole. You go where you are respected. You pour into the people that have poured into you or supported you. Now, obviously, the 18-year-old can't really support, but the 18-year-old can have respect, and she has shown that she does not have that. Okay, now let's get into some of these comments. T. Fuentes says she hasn't apologized, which means you are not being too harsh. I understand the teenager stupid jokes scenario, but if she does not apologize and repent for humiliating you, even if that was not her intention, then you are still not harsh enough. Do not cave. Have some self-respect and teach this kid and her parents that actions have consequences. Let them deal. Grow a spine. Driving under the influence might be a teenager's stupid mistake, but after the accident and the innocent people are taken out, the consequences will not disappear just because you are a stupid teenager making a mistake. Life does not work like that. And then the OP says, thank you. You are correct. This has been bothering me for weeks, but I need to put myself first. Cold Verity says, if your niece does apologize, I'd ask her to explain why it was wrong and hurtful for her to say. You need to see true reflection on what she said and why it was wrong, not just so sorry so I can get some money. Jim Williams says, yes, a sincere apology, admits faults, acknowledges the hurt, commits to not doing it again. Anything short of that isn't a real apology. It's just another attempt to manipulate. What is her job? Tables says, watch when niece finally has the realization that she won't be getting that money. OP will get a classic, I'm sorry you were offended apology, which is not an apology. Temporary Nebula says, when they demand the money again, tell them you bought yourself a holiday home and the money is gone. When they complain about you letting them down, tell them it's one of the perks of having no kids. You have no responsibilities to anyone, not the a-hole. And then the OP says, this is not a terrible idea. You know what the comments made me realize? I'm not at fault here. And Katie Bean says, honestly, I just tell my brother I realize I made a mistake, that Emily has been gifted with a privileged life, and her joke made it clear that not only does Emily not appreciate her privilege, she feels entitled to it. And that because I love her, I'm not going to participate in that any further. My hope is that by making Emily work for her own accomplishments, she'll appreciate them more. The joke was a-hole behavior, but the point here is that Emily is an a-hole and that there's a really small window for her to course correct. Someone poor wouldn't joke about a helpful family member in that way. They'd be so immensely grateful for the hand up that it wouldn't even occur to them. Emily needs to learn to be a better person. Extra Life says, look like she can learn how to fill out the FAFSA. And Flyover State says, I thought this was a new form of FAFO, but then I realized you wrote FAFSA. And then at the bottom, this person said, here's the thing. Trump and Leon are ending student loan money and Pell Grants. Emily really will find out. Yeah, she's really going to find out. Now, I wanted to get to this one. Ladybug says, plus it'll teach little Miss Missy about making jokes at the expense of people who are doing things for you or paying you for whatever reason. For example, let her make the wrong teenage just a joke. Lighten up with a boss. She can find herself out of the job. So really, OP's teaching her a life lesson that money can't buy. Don't let your mouth write a check that you can't cash. That's an old saying, and I'm totally sure that I've heard that several decades ago in my life. Don't let your mouth write a check that you can't cash. Yes, that is a proverb that goes way, way back. You can carry that with you anytime, anywhere. Just put that in your back pocket. Far Employee says 100, 100, 100. Far Employee writes 100 several times. And Scarlet Mia says, you're right. An apology would go a long way in this situation. It acknowledges the hurt caused and shows a willingness to take responsibility. It's completely valid to feel disrespected and want to stand your ground. You have every right to protect yourself and set boundaries. If you feel strongly about withdrawing your offer, it's ultimately your decision, and you shouldn't feel pressured to change your mind. So there we have it. There we have all of the commentary. But like I said, I really wanted to just remind us all, don't let your mouth write a check that your butt can't cash. And also, there was another proverb that goes way, way back. Don't start no won't be no And with that, we're going to end this post. Join the conversation. Let me know what you think about all of this. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. And if you made it this far and are not yet following, go ahead and smash the follow button.